If you guys need any cards, packs, sleeves, anything of that nature, shop on TCG Player using my affiliate link in the description. What's good, YouTube? We're back here with my second War League match. Really farming beast mode server for content these days. But yeah, so this week I decided to play the Kuraz deck. The enemy team primarily played a lot of Blackwing and Hero Beat and stuff, so I figured it was a pretty good matchup with the Snowman Eaters. I don't know. The build is pretty much the same as I think the last time I showcased it on the channel, which it's actually been a while, but it's like the same. I think I swapped Sangan for Grand Mole because I felt like the Grand Mole was great at problem solving for a lot of issues like Catastor and Battle Recruiters and stuff. So I threw that card back in, and Sangan was just kind of feeling really slow at the Ribbit IRL, so I took it out. But I think the build is otherwise. You know what? Actually, I also like changed up the trap ratios. I think I cut one Phoenix Wing and one Legacy, and put in two Bottomless since I've been a little more friendly in my analysis of Bottomless Trap Hole lately. So the trap lineup basically turned into all the one-offs, and then it's now two Bottomless, two Legacy, and two Phoenix Wing. So I'm sorry if that sounds a little complicated, but I didn't want to go over the whole deck list again. So those are the changes. It's only like 3 cards different, actually, if you really think about it. But yeah, here I did win RPS, fortunately for me. In game number 1, we opened a pretty good hand. Only thing is maybe you could ask for like some more back row, or at least defense. Like the call is more card you want to be drawn later on. It's still good though, is the thing. We can make it if we like hit a Kuraz off Trooper, we're in such a godly spot here actually, because we have multiple ways to bringing it back. We can do some cool stuff. Opponent just goes summon Bora, attack, which yeah, showing that they are on Black Wings, which is kind of what we were preparing for and what we were expecting. So I'm pretty happy there. We have plays set up for next turn. We can debris, we can terraforming, and summon Gadgetron. So I think for a while, I conclude the back row is likely Icarus attack. That's the one I at least decide to play around. Since you don't need to play around the battle traps, of course, because of Gadgetron, and then like Stardust just plays around everything else. So we do go for the Stardust. He figures here probably that the Kalute will let him out the Stardust, but of course we have the Gadgetron play. The Gear Town pet, it's just so nice being able to like extend into a Gadgetron. It means you can do so much with your battle phase and like sort of put on pressure or push back against pressure. That's one thing I really like about this deck, is that it just gives you something else to do beyond your normal summon. Anyway, I'm rambling here. He Kalutes over this, obviously. And then, yeah, we can't, of course, can't attack Stardust at that point because it lasts till the end of the turn. So we just set both, flip up the garden. Now, we're in a pretty good spot here unless he has brain control specifically, which he does have. That being said, I make a pretty big misplay here. I should have immediately Phoenix Winged the Bora when he activated brain control, because I knew this was probably Icarus. And then it turns out to be Icarus, and he uses it right away. So that was just really dumb. I think probably should have just shotgunned the Phoenix Wing, and then spun back the Bora. Either the Bora or the back row. Probably the... Well, let's see. If we put back Bora, then it like makes his Blizzard play a lot worse, I think. But if we put back the back row, then he can't Icarus me. So I'm not entirely sure, actually, what the better play was there. Interestingly, he Icarused both back row. Maybe he should have just Stormed, but I don't know. It was weird. I think he made a misplay this turn where he like clogs my board, and then he like doesn't realize that game mechanics are just going to kill Stardust in the end phase, or maybe he just really wanted to beat over a token, I guess. But he goes into Brionac and pitches the Storm, so now he just doesn't have the Storm. Which probably ends up not mattering, because I don't think I draw any more back row for the rest of this game, actually. We get the different tokens to differentiate, and I think... Okay, so we summon Card Trooper. Here, this was probably a misplay, too. I calculated, I guess, that the Grand Mole was more valuable, but I think under Garden, the Card Trooper is actually the one that we want to save for later and just let the Grand Mole get eaten by the Deep Prison. So this was probably the wrong way around, because like the Trooper just beats over something, does some damage, and then they have to hit over it. Otherwise, it's just going to hit over anything they put on the field under the garden. So then it trades with something and gets us a draw, whereas the Grand Mole just keeps coming down and giving him garden tokens. So it's like my garden's working against me in this situation where we're on the back foot with the Grand Mole. So probably should have held on to the Trooper there. Anyway, we do have to go for it, outing the Brionac here, and the Legacy can hopefully draw us something. Opponent finds Mirror Force, which is pretty good in a situation like this, but we get pretty lucky here. We find the Gear Town, so it's pretty obvious what the play we have to do here is. We just got to ditch the Garden because it's not doing anything for us. Then we pray this isn't another Icarus set, or an MST, I guess, and we activate Heavy Storm. We get the Gadgetron, we summon the Grand Mole, and then we just hit over both his monsters, and now we're in a great spot. Pretty much nothing he can top deck straight away to answer this field. He just finds Shura. He maybe should have... I don't know, actually, if it was correct to attack into the Grand Mole. Probably just fine to set this. He takes 3,000. We top deck MST. Great pickup. Deals with any kind of Icarus attack off the top shenanigans here. And he just finds Bottomless, and he scoops it up. So we're going to the next game. I could have played better in game number 1, but we ended up pulling it out anyway. So, yeah, this game... He goes first. He has Whirlwind, but just 2 Sirocco. So I have this weird combination of cards. I don't want to Storm, because if he has Road, we just, like, lose in this situation. But I end up in this weird spot where I, like, set the Typhoon, and it gets Typhoon. I could maybe have set everything to just try and make sure my Typhoon lives, because now he has the Whirlwind Sirocco play, which is exactly what we didn't want to happen here. He opts to go for the Bora instead of Gale into Dark End or something, which I think Gale into Dark End was... It could get punished maybe by, like, Dandelion or something. It's probably better, though. We get the Snowman, we get rid of that. So now he sets another card, and I could just set Snowman and pass and play around everything here. But I just feel like we're in this spot where he's going to be getting pluses with Whirlwind every turn. So I decided to go for it with a Storm and just see if he has it, and he does. So we end up losing to Starlight Road, which, yeah, rough. I don't know if there was much I could have done there, honestly. Like, the best thing that I can think of in hindsight is just setting Brain Control and Heavy and MST, and hoping he doesn't hit the MST on his end phase MST, which he probably should have set the Dust Tornado first, actually, because then he could have dusted and then spaced, and then, like, very likely hit our card. I also could have gone fishing with MST, maybe, tried to hit the road, or I could have just held it and used it next turn. I'm not really sure. Like, there wasn't a lot of great answers there. He had the road, he had the end phase space, he had the Whirlwind more importantly than any of that. So we were just in a rough spot from the very beginning. We just drew a sort of awkward hand with Gadgetron. This hand is much better. We go straight in for Titanial, and then I set Typhoon. And then I decided to play around Heavy, because I think... Like, unironically, if he blinds Typhoons this, I might just Titanial negate. Because I feel like Blackwing sneeze and they out Titanial. So really, we just want to keep our Typhoon to force through our play next turn. So he gets super aggressive. If I had Mirror Force, this would have been game over, I'm pretty sure. Like, or Bottomless. Yeah, that would have also been a game over. Or Phoenix Wing. Yeah, actually, I think this was a maybe questionable play by the opponent. Because, yeah, he would have lost multiple cards there. But he gets super aggressive, which seems to be just the plan for him. Like, kill me before we get anything going, I guess. And then here I have a decision to make about what I Typhoon at end phase. And I think I probably made the wrong one in hindsight. I was just, like, overly fixated and worried about Dust Shoot. So I decided to, like, go for the 50-50 on the back run to see what I hit. But I think the actual correct decision would probably be to just Typhoon the Gear Town. Because it plays around any kind of Bottomless or whatever, or Oppression, which I end up hitting with the Typhoon. And then we can just go battle, hit over, and then Fortress and main 2, and there's like nothing he can do, like with any of the back row that this could reasonably be it, unless it's just a compulsory or something. I'm not even... Yeah, I guess Book of Moon maybe would be pretty good. But we end up blind Typhooning. We hit the Oppression, which is good because, yeah, we didn't want to hit this. If we'd hit Mirror, we'd have been in trouble, actually, so... Kind of rewarded for my sort of 50-50 gambling play when I should have just... I think I should have just killed my own Gear Town. Here, I think a lot about what to do. I could Black Rose and put him on no cards. I decide I don't want to lose to Road. I mean, the chances of him setting Road with Oppression aren't that high, but I figure he probably took it out if he had Oppression, but I think he actually was still playing Road. So I end up going for Ancient Fairy Dragon priority, which is probably right. I think this was the right play because it outs everything really clean and gives me a second like body that just walls everything. The fact that this AFD in defense just stops like doesn't lose to any top deck Blizzard stuff is very good. It turns out. So here this outs everything, of course, because we hit over. He tries to mirror, which yeah, you obviously cannot do that. So I think he made a couple mistakes this game, like revealing info that I shouldn't have otherwise had. So I hit over, I make the Fortress Dragon. And we set the Foolish as like a bluff and to play around Dust Shoot. So yeah, he topped it. Yeah, he is playing Road this game. So I guess it was good that I played around that. And then here we just hit it again. He Mirror Forces, I guess just figuring it's better to use it since I know he has it. And I'm playing around it at this point. So he top decks Blizzard. Crucially, yeah, here. He doesn't go for anything with this top deck Blizzard because, like, the AFD just walls everything that he makes with top deck Blizzard. Like, there's nothing it actually does. So he's probably just saving it for next turn with Brionic, maybe. I just decided to switch to attack and poke. Maybe he was just waiting for this so he could make Goyo take. But here, I make a very good play, or in main 2, I go for this Debris Dragon. That way, we're getting some value out of our normal summon this turn, but also, more importantly, I can force Oppression if he has it, which he actually does. And if you're in a winning board state against Blackwings and Oppression is up, you just feel so much safer because like all of their clapback type of plays, all of them lose to their own Oppression basically. Like Blizzard, Dad, Swarm the Field with Boras and Sirocco and Gale, all of it loses to their own Oppression. So now I'm just feeling like there's no way we lose from this spot. And, oh yeah, I think he accidentally showed me that Starlight Road when I did that play. Did we see that? I think he, like, flipped up Starlight Road for a second, so now I know the other back row is just nothing. I don't know if it's probably just nerves or something, Everyone makes mistakes, everyone chokes up every now and then, so. I do brain control the Blizzard. Here I made a mistake. I could have had Lethal if I just summoned Kuraz, pop the Oppression, make RDA. That would have killed him. He's on 51, and that is exact game. I didn't think about that. Oh, yeah, I only could have done this because I knew this was Starlight Road because he accidentally flipped it last turn, by the way. But yeah, I could have Kuraz popped that, make RDA attack for 51. Instead, I just poke and I like Kuraz main 2, draw 1, and then set some back row. I mean, it's kind of no big deal because we win this game basically no matter what he does. So unfortunate for the opponent there in game number 3. That was a cool match. I always enjoy playing the Kuraz deck. I think it was a good choice to play the Kuraz deck. I think the Blackwing matchup is pretty solid, as we saw. So let me know what you thought in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace out. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Furthermore, if you enjoy my content, you should think about becoming a channel member. You get access to tons of bonus content, and it's a great way to help support the channel.